Here's something strange that happened in the market this past week, and almost nobody is talking about it. While most people were panicking over a rough start to the week, a handful of powerful stocks were quietly building the exact kind of setup that has historically come right before a major move higher. By the end of this video, you're going to know all 6 of them, why I believe right now might be one of the smartest windows to step in, and which one of these names carries the most risk if you don't pay attention to the calendar. So stick around, because the third stock on this list is one almost nobody's watching right now, and I think that's exactly why it matters. If you're new here at Tickerhawk, go ahead and tap that subscribe button before we get started, because every single week we're breaking down exactly what's driving the market and where fresh money might make the most sense. And I promise you don't want to miss the picks coming up in the next few minutes. Let's start with a quick look at where things actually stand, because the headlines this week made it sound a lot scarier than the numbers actually were. The market opened the week on shaky footing, and for a couple of days it genuinely felt like the rally was running out of steam. But by Friday, the picture had completely flipped. The S&P 500 closed out the week with a solid gain and remains up close to double digits for the year. The Nasdaq posted an even stronger weekly move, and the Dow wasn't far behind either. But here's the number that really jumps out at me. Small cap stocks, the ones most people ignore, are up close to 18% so far this year, quietly outperforming almost everything else on this list. That tells you something important. Money isn't just chasing the same 5 or 6 giant tech names anymore. It's starting to spread out, and that usually happens when a bull market is maturing in a healthy way rather than getting ready to top out. Now, if you dig a little deeper under the surface, the story gets more interesting. Consumer discretionary names had an outstanding week, largely thanks to a blowout reaction to one of the big retail and e-commerce earnings reports, and communication services weren't far behind. But get this, more than half of the sectors inside the S&P 500 actually finished the week in the red. Utilities and real estate lagged badly. So what does that tell us? We're not in a market where everything floats higher together anymore. We're in a market where earnings and execution decide who wins and who gets punished, and punished fast. The way I see it, the first half of this year was all about AI excitement and big promises. The second half is turning into something different. It's about AI execution, about which companies can actually prove the spending is turning into real revenue and real profit. Companies that deliver are getting rewarded within hours. Companies that stumble are getting sold off just as quickly. Honestly, that's what a healthy, functioning bull market is supposed to look like. And it tells me this AI-driven cycle still has plenty of room to run, even after the bumps we've already seen. Looking ahead to the coming week, earnings season is about to get even busier, and I'll be watching closely for management commentary around capital spending, enterprise demand, and how confident these companies sound about the next 12 months. We've got major names reporting across technology, travel, industrials, and consumer sectors, and each one is going to give us more clues about where this AI infrastructure build-out actually stands. On top of that, we've got a fresh round of economic data landing next week too, including a key report on the labor market. Remember, strong jobs numbers are usually good news for corporate earnings, but they can also shift expectations around interest rates. So don't be surprised if we see some short-term volatility around that release. These are exactly the kinds of catalysts that can swing the market in either direction. So keep an eye on the calendar this week. All right, with all of that context out of the way, let's get into the real reason you clicked on this. Video, 6 stocks, I believe, offer some of the best risk to reward setups heading into August. This isn't about chasing whatever's trending on social media this week. This is about finding real businesses that are growing revenue, expanding margins, generating actual free cash flow, and still trading at prices that leave room for meaningful upside. If even one of these ideas helps you make a smarter decision with your own portfolio, drop a comment below and let me know which one stood out to you the most. It genuinely helps this channel grow, and it helps me know what you want to see more of. Let's kick things off with the first name, and it's a big one, Advanced Micro Devices, ticker symbol AMD. I continue to see this as one of the cleanest ways to get exposure to the explosive growth in AI computing power. Take a look at how the chart has behaved recently. The stock topped out above $580 near the end of June before sliding all the way back down into the low 400s this past week, and it found support almost perfectly at a key retracement level. The relative strength rating is sitting near the low end of its range, and momentum indicators are just beginning to curl higher, which technically speaking is exactly the kind of setup long-term investors love to see. Now, here's the catch. AMD is scheduled to report earnings in the coming days, which means you have to ask yourself an honest question. Are you comfortable holding through a potentially volatile event? My personal take is that the underlying demand story remains incredibly strong. Hyperscale cloud companies are actively looking to diversify their chip suppliers beyond just one dominant player, And AMD's accelerator lineup keeps improving generation after generation, on top of an already strong position in data center processors. This isn't a story about AMD trying to beat one single competitor. It's a story about AMD capturing its share of an entire industry that's expanding rapidly, and there's more than enough room for multiple winners here. Wall Street analysts currently have an average price target that implies more than 20% upside from where shares sit today. And honestly, I think that number could prove conservative if the next few quarters play out the way I expect. Moving on to stock number 2, and this one flies under the radar for a lot of retail investors. Credo Technology, ticker symbol CRDO. Here's something people forget about the AI boom. It isn't just about chips, it's about connectivity. Thousands of processors inside these massive data centers need to talk to each other at blazing speeds, and Credo builds the high-speed connectivity technology that makes that possible. One theme that came through loud and clear from the big cloud providers this earnings season is that AI infrastructure spending isn't slowing down. If anything, budgets are getting revised higher for both this year and next. That trend plays directly into Credo's hands. Shares are up roughly 40% so far this year, but it's been anything but a smooth ride. The stock has pulled back more than 30% since peaking in late June. From a technical standpoint, I actually like what I'm seeing. The stock has found support right around its longer-term moving average. Momentum is turning higher, and the broader growth outlook for this business remains one of the strongest in the entire networking space. Analysts currently see over 30% upside from current levels, and as data centers get bigger and more complex, I think the connectivity layer of this whole AI build-out is one of the most underappreciated opportunities out there. Stock number 3 on the list is one I recently added to my own portfolio, Broadcom, ticker symbol AVGO. What makes Broadcom stand out to me is diversification. This company isn't dependent on a single product line or a single customer. It benefits from custom AI chip design, high-speed networking hardware, and deep partnerships with some of the largest cloud and technology companies in the world, all at the same time. If you've followed this channel for a while, you know I have a strong preference for diversified businesses over single product bets, and Broadcom checks that box better than almost anything else in the semiconductor space. Shares are up modestly this year, slightly ahead of the broader market, but they've also pulled back around 20% from their June peak, which honestly just gives long-term investors a better entry point. And this is worth saying out loud. During pullbacks like this, there's always a wave of fear-driven headlines trying to convince you to panic. The investors who actually build wealth over time are the ones who can look past that noise and buy quality businesses while everyone else is running for the exits. Technically, the stock has been consolidating right around its longer-term moving average, which often sets the stage for a breakout, and both momentum and strength indicators are starting to turn in the right direction. Analysts see close to 30% upside from here, and with major tech giants continuing to build custom AI chips in partnership with Broadcom, I see this as one of the most mission-critical names in the entire AI supply chain going forward. If you're finding value in this breakdown, do me a favor and hit that like button. It really does make a difference in how far this video reaches, and it only takes a second. Stock number 4 takes us outside of pure technology and into industrials, but make no mistake, it's still very much tied to the AI growth story. Sterling Infrastructure, ticker symbol STRL. We've already talked about how AI spending keeps climbing, and a huge chunk of that spending goes toward physical construction, building out data center sites, roads, power infrastructure, and everything else that has to exist before a single server ever gets switched on. Sterling sits right in the middle of that build cycle, and it's one of those companies a lot of investors overlook simply because it doesn't have AI attached to its name the way a chip maker does. This past week, the stock dropped sharply on essentially no company-specific news, purely on broad market fear. And in my experience, that kind of drop, with no real catalyst behind it, is usually a buying opportunity rather than a warning sign. Shares are still up more than 80% for the year, even after pulling back around 40% from their June highs, which tells you just how strong the underlying trend has been. Technically, the chart looks compelling. The stock filled its earlier gap, found solid support at its longer-term moving average, and momentum indicators are showing early signs of turning higher. Analysts have an average price target that implies roughly 20% upside, with at least one bullish estimate suggesting significantly more room to run. Without infrastructure like this, the entire AI data center expansion simply doesn't happen. And that's exactly why I think this name deserves a spot on your radar. Now let's shift gears completely and close out this list with 2 names from the financial sector, because not every great opportunity right now is tied directly to semiconductors. Stock number 5 is one of my favorite long-term ideas in fintech, SoFi Technologies, ticker symbol SoFi. This is a volatile stock, I won't sugarcoat that, But the upside potential is real. What makes SoFi compelling is how the business keeps expanding. Banking, investing, personal loans, credit cards, and retirement accounts are all part of one connected ecosystem. And every new product a customer adopts makes that relationship stickier and more valuable over time. Just a few years ago, before the pandemic, SoFi had well under 1 million members. Today, that number has grown past 15 million. The company reported earnings recently, and shares actually sold off afterward. But I think the market reacted with a short-term mindset, while ignoring a growth story that's still very much intact. Shares are down roughly 40% for the year, and I know that sounds rough, but I look at periods like this as an accumulation phase rather than a warning sign, and I genuinely believe this stock has a real shot at trading meaningfully higher within the next couple of years. The chart isn't pretty right now, I'll admit that, but it has found repeated support around the $15 level, and we need to see the moving averages start trending upward before the technical picture fully confirms. Analysts remain notably more optimistic than the chart currently suggests, with price targets implying more than 30% upside from here. As profitability keeps improving and the member base keeps expanding, I think SoFi still has years of growth ahead of it. And finally, stock number 6 brings us to Capital One, ticker symbol COF. Like SoFi, Capital One also reported earnings recently, and I thought the results were genuinely strong. Following its acquisition of Discover, Capital One has significantly expanded its position in the payments industry, but what really excites me is the long-term efficiency this deal creates. Management has pointed to billions of dollars in expected synergies from this acquisition, with full integration expected within the next couple of years. Once that combined business becomes more vertically integrated, it should translate into stronger margins and greater earnings power over time. Capital One also continues to generate solid free cash flow while trading at a valuation that still looks reasonable to me. Shares are down modestly for the year, but they've actually climbed close to 20% since bottoming earlier in the year, so momentum is clearly starting to build. Technically, the stock just reclaimed its longer-term moving average, and we recently saw a bullish crossover between two shorter-term moving averages as well, both signs that the trend is starting to shift in a more positive direction. Analysts currently see roughly 25% upside from current levels, and I think that's a reasonable target, given how the fundamentals are lining up. So when I zoom out and look across everything we covered today, a few themes really stand out to me. The American consumer is holding up far better than a lot of people expected, and the AI build-out isn't slowing down. It's actually accelerating and spreading into more corners of the economy than most investors realize. Whether it's chip designers, connectivity providers, industrial builders, or financial companies riding long-term digital trends, I keep coming back to the same idea. Find businesses capable of compounding their earnings over the next 5 to 10 years and let time do the heavy lifting. That's exactly why AMD, Credo Technology, Broadcom, Sterling Infrastructure, SoFi, and Capital One are sitting near the top of my watch list heading into August. Before you go, let me know down in the comments which one of these 6 names you like the most, and if there's a stock you think deserves a closer look in a future video, drop that below too. I read every single comment. And if this kind of breakdown is useful to you, share it with someone who's trying to figure out where to put new money to work this month. It genuinely helps more than you'd think. As always, none of this is personalized financial advice, so make sure you do your own research and think about your own goals and risk tolerance before making any decisions. Thanks so much for watching this one all the way through. Hit subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you right here at Tickerhawk in the next video.